Okay, my name is Kelly, a student of UPSA. We are back to our quantitative methods lectures. Are you ready? Okay, so the quantitative methods for today we'll be dealing with cost, revenue, and profit. Are you ready? Okay, with cost, revenue, and profit, we have what we call the profit function. We also have what we call the revenue function. We also have what we call the profit function. Okay. So the profit function is defined to be the difference between the total revenue and the total cost. Okay. The next one, total revenue. The total revenue received from the sale of goods at price P is given by the product of P and Q. So this is the formula for total revenue. So total revenue is given as price times quantity. Okay. We have the total cost function. The total cost function relates the cost of production to the level of output, which is Q, and is the sum of the fixed cost and variable cost, which is VC times what? Q. Are you good? So meaning the formula for variable cost was variable cost times quantity, but not what? Variable cost. Where VC denotes the variable cost per unit of output, the total cost of producing Q goods is given by, so there's the formula for total cost. So total cost is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost times quantity. I go. Don't forget to bring the Q. I go. If you do it like this, it's wrong. There's always a Q here. I go. So there's the actual formula for total cost. Then move on to the average cost function. Okay. So with the average cost function, it's obtained by dividing the total cost by output, so that we are going to get this. So mean the formula for average cost function is given as average cost equal to total cost by quantity. We all know that before we be able to get a total cost, it's what? Fixed cost plus variable cost and what? Quantity. Remember, it's divided by Q, so this is the same Q here. Now, the understanding we have is fixed cost is different from variable cost times quantity. So how will you be able to identify this particular quantity? It's either for fixed cost, it's either for what? Variable cost. So what we do is we are going to separate them. So we pick the fixed cost over quantity. There's it. I go. There's a plus, and there's the same plus here. Variable cost over quantity divided by what? That same quantity. I go. So this is the expanded form of this. This is the expanded form of this. Okay. Now, fixed cost over quantity. There's it. I go. We have quantity here. We have another quantity. So what we do is we cancel out. So quantity moves quantity out. We have a variable cost. So this is the reduced form of what? Average cost. So average cost is equal to variable. Sorry, average cost is equal to fixed cost over what? Quantity plus what? Variable cost. So the actual formula for average cost function is what? Average cost or total cost over what? Quantity. Okay. We also have what? Profit function. So that's the sum for profit function. That's how we do it, like this. Or this way. Okay. So profit is total revenue minus total cost. Where total revenue is given as price times quantity minus total cost is given as fixed cost plus variable cost times quantity. Don't forget to bring the Q. Okay. So P times Q. Or mostly what I tell my friends that if you are done with the profit function and you don't want to confuse yourself, after you are done with the total revenues formula, remember to bring a bracket here either before you indicate the formula for total cost, because the negative here is going to affect everything in the bracket. So negate times positive fixed cost given us negative fixed cost. Now you have positive here, we have negative here. When negative and positive it tends to negative, so negate one negate variable cost into brackets quantity. So there's actually the theory part of cost, revenue, and profit. So we'll pick questions on them and solve. Okay, now let me briefly bring this straight in. We have average cost to total cost and quantity. It's not always that you'll be given a question whereby you'll be given fixed cost and variable cost. So if you don't see fixed cost and variable cost and you are being asked to calculate for total cost, but you were given average cost in the question, what we'll do is, now, let's assume we're given average cost in the question, but we are going to find for profit, and we know profit is what? Total revenue minus total cost. So how then do we get our total cost? We are going to subtract from the total revenue to get a profit function. What we do is we get the change of subject. So AC, TC over Q. So this times this as well. So we have total cost equals average cost times quantity. So all I'm trying to say is we also have another formula for what's total cost given as this. So just get an understanding that total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost times quantity. We also have total cost to equal to average cost times quantity. We use this when there's average cost given in the question, and we use this when there's fixed cost and variable cost. So I'll actually pick calculations on this and we solve it. So we are starting with the question 1 part of cost, revenue and profit. So the first question states that given the demand function P is equal to 100 minus 2Q, express total revenue as a function of Q, and hence sketch its graph. A. For what values of Q is total revenue 0? B. What is the maximum value of TR? Okay. Now, the first criteria we take note when we are dealing with cost, revenue, and profit is you will first check if the equation given to you is already expressed in the price function. If it's not expressed in the price function, we are supposed to express it in what? The price function. What I'm trying to say is, with some of the demand function, you can be given this. Let's say QD is equal to, okay, let me do it this way. Let's say negative 100 is equal to negative P minus 2Q. Sometimes you can be given this. What I'm trying to say is, always check if the demand function given to you is expressed in the price function, as in P is equal to this or P is equal to that. I got it. Now, if it's given to you in this format, what we do is we are supposed to rearrange it in what? A price function like what was given to us in this question. Let's assume we're given this. What we are supposed to do is we are supposed to arrange this in a price function. So we have negative P when it becomes positive P. I got it. We have negative 100 here. When it becomes positive what? 100. We have minus 2Q here. So just take note. Always check the question first. What the question demands before you start the question. If it's not expressed in the price format, you are supposed to do it. I got it. So let's see if we were given this, they will do it this way. But with this particular question, it was given to us straightforward. So we just use it. Okay, so now let's start the question. Okay, so we have demand function, we have this. P is equal to 100 minus 2Q. Okay, let's express total revenue as a function of Q and hence get its graph. So indicate here total revenue. Now, what's the formula for total revenue? Total revenue is price times quantity. Now, we already have a price function here. So we have P is equal to 100 minus 2Q. So where P is, we will put 100 minus 2Q. Don't forget there was a Q here because total revenue is price times quantity. So we bring back our Q. So we now have this times this. Q times 100, negative 2Q times Q. So we have 100 times Q is 100Q. Negative 2Q times Q is giving us negative 2Q squared. So this becomes our total revenues what? Function. I got it. Now, let's move to the A part of the question. For what values of Q is total revenue what? 0. Okay, what you are trying to say is, with this total revenue function, how are we going to identify that? The total revenue is going to give us what? Values of Q. I got it. So what we do is, we have total revenue. This is the actual total revenues function. So total revenues function. Now we want to find for the A. For what values of Q is total revenues 0. So what we do is we will pick the total revenues function, but we don't pick this. We pick the unexpanded one, which is the 100 minus 2Q is equal, 100 minus 2Q into brackets Q, but not the actual total revenues function. Let me lay more emphasis here. If you want to find the A, for what values of Q is total revenue 0. This is a definite total revenues what function. We want to find the values of Q. So we use the unexpanded form of the total revenue, which is 100 minus 2Q into brackets Q. So we pick this. So we have 100 minus 2Q into brackets Q. For what values of Q is total revenue 0? So we have been explained that if 100 minus 2 go into bracket Q, and you're asking for what values of Q is total revenue 0, we are going to equate the whole of this to 0. So we pick 100 minus 2Q is equal to 0. Also, Q, this Q is also equal to what? 0. So now with this, we can do something about it. We have 100. Negative 2 going becomes positive 2Q. So Q, when we divide both sides by the coefficient of Q, which is 2, this side is 2. We have Q2, let's do it. 100 divided by 2. We have 50. Quantity 50. We have this side 0. So with the A, for what values of Q is total revenue 0? The values for Q, which makes total revenue 0 is what? When Q is 50 units and Q is what? 0 units. So this is the A part of the question. Now you move to the B part of the question. The B part of the question states that what is the maximum value of TR? Now, before you would be able to find for the maximum value of TR, we use what we call the symmetry of parabola. Now, the symmetry of parabola is given as half times A plus B, where the A and B denotes the quantities that you had in the A question, which were what? 50 and what? 0 units. So when A is equal to 50 and B is equal to 0, we have half times into bracket 50 plus 0, where we have half into bracket 50. So what do we get? Let me use the calculator. 1 divided by 2 times 50. You are getting 25. Okay. So we have 25 in. Now we have the symmetry of parabola to what? 25 in. We were asked to find what? What is the maximum value of what? Total revenue. Now, before we would be able to find the maximum value of total revenue, we have our curve to be. We have it this way. Let me move this way. We have quantity. We have the side to be total revenue. Now, we have our curve to be this way. One might ask, why is it that the curve is what? In this format, it's in a U-turn, but not downward. What I'm trying to say is, one might ask you that, okay, why is it that the curve is having what? A maximum what? U-turn, but not a downward U-turn? If it's having a maximum U-turn, meaning that it's having a negative coefficient of Q, I go. So we have negative 2Q here. So we are doing this because we are doing the curve in this format because it has a negative coefficient of Q, which is what? Negative 2. That's why I have it this way. And most of the times with this curve, it's always this way. Are you okay? Okay. So now, with this side, we represent this side by our quantities. So it's 0 and 50. Which one is the lowest? It's 0. So I put my 0 here. Now, definitely this side becomes what? 50. Now, when I use the symmetry of parabola, I have 25 in it, meaning that the difference between my 50 and my 0 is what? 25. So now, my 25 comes here. Then I roll it up like this. I move it this way. This side is what the question is asking me to find for. This side. What is the maximum value of total revenue? Now, I have my quantity. After using the symmetry of parabola, I have 25. How would I be able to get my total revenue? I'll just pick my actual total revenue, which is this. The actual one, not the unexpanded one. We use the unexpanded one to find for quantities. Then we use the actual one to find for what's maximum value. So we are going to pick this. When we say Q, we put what? 25. Then we get what? The total revenue. That's all about this question. So let me clear that side. So let me rewrite it. Total revenue. Sorry, I shouldn't have planned this side, but let me rewrite it. Total revenue. Total revenue was given us price times quantity. We had our price to be 100 minus 2Q. This side to be Q. Total revenue was given us 100 times Q is 100Q. This gives us negative 2Q squared. So this becomes our total revenue function. Now I want the maximum value, which is the B. the B part, the maximum value that is going to make the TL. So we had our symmetry of parabola 25. So what we'll do is we'll pick this total revenue function. When we see it, we'll put 25, then we get the maximum value for TL. So we have total revenue is 100 K minus 2 K squared. So when K is 25 units, so we have total revenue, we have 100, K is 25 minus 2, 25 squared. So now let's go this first. 100 times 25, 2,500. 2 into bracket 25, bracket close square. 1,250. So total revenue is equal to 2,500 minus 1,250. I'm still getting 1,250. Meaning that the maximum value of TR is what? 1,250. So meaning this side is, let me put the total revenue here. The maximum value is 1,250. That's all about this particular question. What is the maximum value of TL? So we have the symmetry of parabola 25. The understanding of symmetry of parabola is going to give you the idea of getting the difference between the quantity. The quantity was 0 and 50. So if I'm using the symmetry of parabola, I'm going to get a middle figure, which is what? 25. I got 0, 50. In between is what? 25. Now, I want my maximum value. So what I'm going to do is I'll put the total revenue function. Now, why I see Q, I'm going to insert what 25 and I get what the maximum value. That's all about this question. So we'll pick a different question. I good. Okay.